friends. Give me just one moment. How are you all today? Give me one more second. Okay. They're working down the road right outside of the house, so you might hear some banging going on. That's what that is. Crystal, I'm doing better. Better. The more boxes I get unpacked, the better I feel. So, and I got through a lot of boxes in my kitchen today, so that took the majority of stress off the shoulders. So to anybody just joining, hello. Hello and welcome. This will probably be a shorter than usual live stream. I'm thinking maybe 30 to 45 minutes-ish, just so we have a heads up. So I don't have to abruptly say goodbye. To the exclusive live memberships, the hot seats, the VIP advanced manifestors, I'll see you all tonight, right, in the exclusive lives membership. Hopefully you're all going to be there. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, it's one of our channel memberships where we talk about success stories and tips and tricks only. No depressing, down, sad circumstances, because that's the zhuzh group. Y'all hear that? The thumping and a bumping? They're doing it literally right outside my driveway. Summer, I did move. I did. We officially moved on Friday. So let's say, what's today? Tuesday. So I've been here a few days in the new place. We're slowly settling in. I very much like it here. I like it here. But it just so happens that I decided to go live when the planned road work, I forgot all about it. And it was very much planned. We had lots of warning. I forgot. I do. XD, I do. I'm very happy. Obviously, you know, it's going to feel a lot more comfortable once I'm fully settled in, you know, and have things organized. Right now, it's... The movers were awesome, though. They were really good because I labeled all my totes and my boxes. They were really good about getting everything in the right rooms, but now it's just... And I have a tendency to, like, do my stuff last. I push everything out in front. So I'm more worried about get the kitchen done, get the second bathroom done, because that's when we take a shower and bath and whatever. So like I got to get all that done before I can worry about my stuff. Well, you know, I prepared myself by getting a couple of outfits. I packed a suitcase, well, technically my laundry basket, of outfits for like a week. And, you know, I'm watching that pile of outfits get slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. And I'm like, I don't have any of my own stuff really unpacked. So that I need to get moving on. What's up, Sebastian? Wani, hello. Babs, how are you? Renee, I just moved, but did you just move too? Renee, are you saying that to me, or are you letting me know that, yo, you just moved too? You're from Canada, Stephanie? I love the Tragically Hip. You don't even want to know how many Tragically Hip t-shirts I have. I love them. You did move? Renee, you did? Woo, woo! Congratulations, my friend. Look at that, we're in sync. We moved at the same time. I love that. Look at, in your new house. How exciting. Very, very exciting. Congratulations. Lonnie, I said it right. I remember in the past I said it wrong. I remember as soon as I saw your username come up, like, oh my God, please remember, Kim. Remember. Remember. Kind of like how I always mess up Xiomara. All right, let me see. And I'm just going to give the reminder again that any of you that are just joining, this will be a shorter than usual live stream. I'm thinking 30 to 45 minutes until my boyfriend gets home, because he's bringing home dinner. That's really why. My intention, truthfully, was I wasn't going to go live until after he got home, because I knew he was going to go out and get dinner. But he was thinking intelligently and thought it made more sense to, while he's already out, coming home from work. Well, whatever. Long story short, so I had to flip-flop my plans. So, Sarah, thank you very much. Hey, Kim, since we last talked, boyfriend has been so consistent. But after about 5 days, my body couldn't relax into it, and he was missing calls. Now it's feeling more quiet, and I'm panicking while the 3D adjusts. Carlos is gone. Well, I am very happy to hear that Carlos is gone. Very happy. If you're wondering why she's giving me a specific name for her specific persons, because that's not her specific person's name. She names the crap version of her specific person Carlos. So that's her way of letting me know that she's experiencing a better version. But so after about 5 days of him being consistent, you couldn't relax into it. Why? Was it just overall anxiety, or was there something specific on your mind? So did you notice that the more the anxiety was happening, the more you couldn't relax into it, I don't want to say the more he started changing, but maybe, the missing of the calls coincided with what you were feeling. That's why I want to know what was on your mind. Where did your mind go? What meaning were you giving the missed calls? Alejandro is more consistent. There are glimpses of Carlos, but he acts right like immediately after, which is awesome to hear. No, he didn't start changing. Okay, good. Anxiety and overall afraid it'll stop being consistent. Okay, so I would say, doesn't that sound like the old identity? The old self talking, right? We're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Things are going so good, so it's only downhill from here. It's just an old pattern of thinking. You just need to remind yourself of that. There's nothing ever truly anything to be afraid of in reality. Now, a more logical-minded person could, I'm sure, list to me about 50 different examples of things to be worried about. And that's the problem. It's that consistent pattern of thinking and forgetting who you are as the I am, right? So when you're starting to feel that anxiety, number one, we don't even want, in my opinion, you don't even want to think of that anxiety as harming your reality or ruining your manifestation. No, you're experiencing anxiety because you're human. You're human. We have feelings and emotions. We are so conditioned to immediately think, oh my God, what are all the psychological reasons why I may be experiencing anxiety right now? Let me dig and fish for what's wrong with me so I can pinpoint and have something to label so that I can feel better, that I know now I have this label or I have this reason why I feel this way. Where I look at that as, okay, I can understand that thinking, I guess. I can relate it to, when I got my ADHD label, I got it. I understood, okay, it made sense. A couple of my characteristics, makes sense. But I don't want to keep identifying. I don't want to keep identifying with what doesn't make me feel good now. Again, I'm not talking about ADHD. I'm talking about the having the anxiety and assuming it means reality is going to change. I'm afraid. I don't feel good. I have these yucky feelings. I'm afraid. I must not be in the state if I feel this way. No, feelings and emotions are experiences in of themselves. Your I am first. So my advice is to not necessarily give conscious power, conscious authority to the anxiety, to the worry, to the fear, because it holds no actual power is what I'm trying to say. And it might not be easy to accept that or to believe that in the moment that you're experiencing it. Hold on a minute. No way. I thought we had at least 20 more minutes. They're all open till 5. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so I heard something come in my door and I just panicked thinking there was somebody in my house. All right, anyway, so remember, Sarah, what you believe, what you decide for yourself is what holds authority, what decides. Your identity decides your experience. It's not always easy to believe that. It's not always easy to relax into that. But you hold power. So when you're feeling the anxiety, remind yourself of exactly who you are and that it's okay. It's okay that you feel that way. It's okay that the fearful thought is coming in. That thought holds no power at all. None. Till you decide it does. All the power is the I am. Right? Everything else outside of that is a byproduct, a manifestation, an experience, but your I am first. So we don't have to dread that things are going to change. We don't have to dread that Carlos is going to be back. We stop giving credit to Carlos. So like, let's say he misses a call. Let's not go to, okay, Carlos is back. He's not getting my calls. No, everything is fine. Everything is fine. You are who you say you are. Period. And the more you build up that habit, the easier you're going to see that it becomes. Easier and easier. But we say it feeling, but then why does they manifest bad scenarios? Well, listen, as far as bad scenarios, are you speaking like for, we'll say with your SP, when he's missing calls or doing something that we don't particularly like? Whatever it is, circumstance-wise, in of itself is really meaningless till you give it the meaning. So like that thinking of, well, then if bad feelings, if fears, if they don't hold control, well, then why do bad things manifest? Our perception of reality decides what is good and what is bad. They're not, it's going to sound kind of backwards here, but nothing is really bad in of itself until we give it the label, we give it the meaning. We're giving it power. So for example, let's say you think Carlos has shown up. Any behaviors that you're not enjoying by your specific person, the less meaning, the less power you're giving it, the less you're accepting and tolerating things that don't align with the version of self that you're choosing to be. Even when, let's say, for example, that you set a boundary with your specific person, even while doing that. And, I look at it as when you set a boundary, that is, in my opinion, in line with you deciding to be a version of yourself and showing up to reality as that version of yourself. That's your way of consciously, I choked on my own self here, consciously being the self you want to be. But anything we experience actually in reality holds no meaning, again, until we give it the meaning, till we decide this is bad. So when Carlos seems to be in the picture, it's your perception of the experience of in itself that's validating who you believe you are. So why do bad things happen? When we're living the experience, and now I want to, just for the sake of making this easier to explain, we'll talk linear for a moment, even though we know there is no real linear time. When we think of, okay, I'm going to manifest this relationship. I'm going to manifest being in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with your SP. So we can tend to think of it like linear, like this is when I made my decision that I'm going to manifest this relationship. And we, without necessarily meaning to, we think of like that straight line until the day the whole manifestation is in front of our face. We think of it as like that straight line. Everything that we experience to that point, even though, like I said, this is just for the sake of the example, every single thing we experience to that point is in some way in connection or a reflection of you having that manifestation. But from the logical, literal point of view, it might not look that way. So let's say Carlos is showing up today and Carlos is being a jerk. Our instinct is to look at that and say, well, why did that happen? Oh, it must be because I gave in to that fearful thought 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, it was probably because of that spiral I had a month ago. No. What is our perception of Carlos showing up today? SP not showing up very nice. What is our perception of that? Why are we immediately looking at whatever we're experiencing and labeling it bad? What does that say about identity? All it's saying is, oh, I'm judging 3D reality. I'm judging circumstances, conditions, and giving them authority. Deciding that the experience in of itself is in charge of who I'm being, when it's the opposite. You are always in charge. So why do bad things happen? Everything is neutral. Everything is neutral. There are no real bad things. There are no real good things. Like I said, from a logical, literal point of view, every single one of us in this live stream today could name a couple of things that we decide are bad things. And I'm going to say like the obvious ones, like murder, things like that, bad things happening to people, murder, all sorts of things. That's our human, rational mind labeling it. But to consciousness, to the universe, to whatever you believe is our individual consciousness, everything's neutral. It's meaningless. And nothing happens by chance. Nothing happens by coincidence. It's happening based off of who that individual point of consciousness, meaning each unique individual version of everyone, their perception of it. But even their perception of it is based off of limits, because we are I am first. Everything outside of the I am is a limit, a layer of ignorance. So when we're manifesting, and if we're fearing an event happening, I'll give you the example. Someone manifesting a specific person and being afraid of, I don't know, let's say, well, I don't want to have to go through a breakup. I don't want to have to go through a breakup in order to have my specific person. I don't want that to happen. Okay. Are we trying to control every moment of our unfolding? What's the fear around the breakup? Now, in of itself, nobody wants a breakup. Breakups don't feel good. But in that moment, we only have so much, let's say, view. We don't have the unique, but really, really big view of reality. We have just this limited viewpoint that maybe something bad like that breakup was the most effortless, perfect way to bring about your desire. But from the human, logical, rational mind, that looks like the most difficult and the most painful way for it to come. But there we go again. Judging, placing conditions on how things go. And again, I'm not wishing anybody to have a breakup, and I'm not telling you you have to go through something like that in order to get your manifestation. I'm just saying when you step back and see the bigger picture, right, from whatever it is you're manifesting, kind of like stepping out of reality and viewing it from afar, everything eventually makes sense why things go the way they do. And it's about ourselves. It's always in connection to ourselves. It's not always easy to accept and believe that, especially when, shit happens in reality. Uncomfortable, unhappy things. It's not always easy to separate and see from a distance, but we're not meant to live in fear. So to the original question, well, then why do bad things happen if we're not supposed to worry about how we're feeling? It's because feelings and emotions are in of themselves manifestations. Think of it as manifestations of the identity. But the identity is a manifestation of the I am. Do you see what I mean? So when we find ourselves afraid of something happening or trying to figure out why this may have happened or why that may have happened, I think it's easier to just take a look at the self that started the journey, the version of you that started all of this, meaning the manifesting of your person. Who was she? What was that identity? How did she think? What did she believe about love relationships? What did she think was possible for herself? And that very well could be why we're experiencing something uncomfortable. But when we try to micromanage every moment that we experience, I think we get lost in that. And we forget who we really are. And we get ourselves all wrapped up and entangled in the bondage of 3D reality, where you're meant to be free of that bondage as God. See what I mean? I hope. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Let me see if I can figure out why. Hold on. There has to be a way. Hold on. There has to be. That's not it. I'm not sure. I don't know why. I have no idea why some of them are coming in a different language. No idea. That's weird. Joe, thank you very much. Kim, I need to tell you that I confessed to my new SP. Didn't want to. It happened naturally. So I guess it was inspired action. And she confessed back. She confessed back. That had to be so exciting. I'm excited for you, Joe. Like, this is good. This is wonderful movement, isn't it? And yes, I agree with you. If it happened naturally, yes, I totally agree with you. It was Babs. I don't know why. I have no idea why. The government is watching this chat. That's why. You know I love a good old-fashioned conspiracy theory. Babs, thank you very much. Miss Kim, thank you for yesterday. I missed you last week, and you were very generous with help. I feel better today, getting back to baseline. Love you. Oh, I love you too. You are welcome. I love doing the little membership live streams anyway. But thank you very much. I'm glad you're feeling better. My name is Summer, and I paid my taxes, for the record. Oh, girl, I love you. Wish fulfilled state, thank you very much. My boss is open to me doing expanding to research work this year. I just have to be on her about it. Zero doubts here, career-wise. I'm getting my title and my man. Yay. Congrats to that with your boss. And just remember, I just have to be on her about it. Remember, that's a belief. It's a belief. What if you decided you didn't have to be and that she remembered because it's on her mind? I mean that in a good way, I'm saying. Passionately Taylor Marie, oh my God, it's been forever. How are you, friend? Okay. What's it mean when you don't care about specific SP anymore? Because I feel like I really don't care who it is, but not coming from lack, changing SP. Well, when you say, all right, wait, because I feel like I really don't care who it is, but not coming from lack. I number one, I don't think that necessarily is from lack. You know, I'm sure there are people out there who may say that, but it's coming from lack because they don't think they're going to get their specific person. But yes, there is a definite difference. And to me, I see that as not a terrible thing, not a terrible thing at all. And first of all, the reason why we want any desire really doesn't matter. You can manifest anything, right? There doesn't have to be an inherent, overly dramatic, perfect reason why you want to manifest this or that, right? That's not going to prevent you from manifesting, just saying. But when you're noticing you don't care, I'm curious to know, in the beginning, when you were, made your first time making your decision that you were going to manifest this person, what was your viewpoint then? Were you ever in a place where you felt that desperation, that neediness? And that, I'm not asking you that like in judgment. I'm saying I see that a lot with people that have experience. And again, listen, that's, again, no judgment. I was a desperate needy bitch in my early days. Oh my God, totally was. So we're not picking on you. But I see that happening. The more you evolve, the more you expand your awareness, I could list all the phrases. The more you rise in consciousness, the more you are in the identity of knowing who the hell you are, the better you feel about yourself, and the less we grip reality. And the more, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to say neutral, but the more open to other ideas and choices seems to move. Not with everybody, but I see it. And I would say it's almost like split down the middle. So I'd be curious. You just wanted to, wait. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up to what you're... Okay, like a guy asked me out, I said yes, and I really enjoy him. He's super healthy and shows up amazing. Very romantic and sweet, older, and I really enjoy him. And I'm like, oh, just wanted to manifest someone, so I picked a guy who rejected me. Then I moved. Then I was like, you're gross. And now I've changed SPs a couple, and I feel great though, but feels embarrassing, but I really don't care about them. It's about me. There you go. There you go. It has nothing to do with them, really. It really doesn't. So, but why did you feel embarrassed because you changed your SPs? That's nothing to be embarrassed about. You're allowed to change your damn mind. Okay? Because of friends in the law. Okay. First of all, see, that to me, you have nothing to be embarrassed about. Nothing. And any real friend who is awake to this, who judges you for changing your mind, I would say really isn't a friend. And you know where they can go. You know what I mean? So you have nothing to feel embarrassed about. Nothing at all. People change their minds. It's okay. All right? They are like, you can have him. And I'm like, I know, I'm good enough. Like, this man steps up for me and pursues me. Yeah. Nothing wrong with choosing a different person at all. That's right. We don't judge because we are limitless. That's right. And you know what? Let me just say this, because you just got me. I'm going to tell you right now that someone who's judging another person because they decided to manifest someone differently, more than likely that person who's judging is someone currently manifesting a specific person and is, let's just say, is insecure in their own journey and then their own selves, as of themselves, I'm saying. and they're projecting that judgment onto you. Now, listen, we could split hairs and say, okay, well, what are your beliefs? What is, what within your identity would reflect that from someone else, right? Because we are always experiencing our reflection. But you have nothing to be embarrassed about. That's all I'm going to say. And now I'm like, I just want to love and to be loved. This man ran out of the house to get my number and takes me on dates and is very communicative. People who laugh if you change SPs. I know, and I've seen it. And I've seen it in comments. I've seen it in live streams. Like, oh, they're giving up. They're giving up because they don't think they can get their specific person, so they're going to change their mind. And my response to that, see, I just don't like that. That's why I'm so, I don't let, to my knowledge, I don't let people pick on other people for what they're manifesting. I don't. And if I see it, I say something, I address it, because I think that's ridiculous. It's quite frankly, none of your damn business what anybody else is manifesting. Who the hell are you to judge? Seriously, worry about your own reality. Worry about your own shit, okay? Get your life right before you start judging anybody else. Got it? Just saying. It's not giving up. I'm sorry. It's not giving up. Not at all. Ooh, that lights a fire. Because, you know what? I'm going to tell you it's because I've had people come to me fully feeling bad about themselves because they changed their specific person. The only thing you hear me say about when someone changes their specific person, meaning deciding to manifest someone else, is, but that other person will still come in. You don't have to pick that person. That doesn't mean you have to be interested, but something will still happen with that original specific person. And I stand by that. But that doesn't mean you are bound and you're now stuck with that person that you no longer are interested in manifesting. There's nothing wrong. We are allowed to change our damn minds. Jesus. Yes, thank you. And I have a date with him tonight and I feel better. And you go and enjoy yourself. Girl, me with my Nashville SP, he's such a loser who needs validation. Oh, Lord. Poop is getting used to all the new sounds of this place. Whenever something happens with SP, I fully expect you to say, I told you so. It's because I'm gonna. But that's my favorite part. That's why I'm here. So I have my own validation of saying, I told you so. Told you it was going to happen. Told you it was going to manifest. Told you so. What were you worried about? Told you so. I look forward to that. Bad Kitty. Long time no talk. Or long time no see, right? Kimmy, I love you. Feel even more confident after our chat. This bitch is already mine. I am done. It's done now. Thank you for all you do for us. P.S. The flying cats are all napping now. Well, I love you too, by the way. You are the OG. The OG, I'm telling you. You've been with me since like literally day one. And your loyalty is appreciated. And like I told you earlier when we talked, I'm so excited for you. I'm happy for you. You're kicking ass. Seriously. That's been the theme of my calls today. Okay? It's been the theme, like literally. Right now, I'm running through the different calls I had today with all different people. Yeah, okay. Yep, yes, literally. I'm sorry. I'm just literally thinking about all my calls today. Literally every call was someone saying, I don't know, I feel these internal shifts. I feel confident. I feel much better. I'm thinking differently. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's all been like on the upswing all day long, which makes me very happy for anybody because I know what happens when we get into those places. Mystic Mermaid. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember who that is. Are we sure that's not someone who's just changed their username a couple times? Or was that really? I don't remember. You guys help me jar my memory. I don't remember. Mystic Princess. I recognize that, but I don't have a face. I can't picture the face. Oh, come on. She got on camera, right? Yes. Okay, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Taylor. Yes, I remember her. I hope she's doing good. And we're gonna make the assumption right now that everything has been great. Everything's been great. She's living her life and things are going wonderful. Yep, I remember. Then there are those of us who get judged for holding on to the same SP for years. And my response to that judgment is the same. Okay? I will respond the same. I think yeah, literally, I have the same response to that. How is it anybody else's business what you're doing? Or who you're manifesting or what you're manifesting? And whether they want to own it or not, they're projecting their own personal judgments and their own limitations and insecurities, and they think they have all the answers onto that other person. So for anybody out there, you're manifesting the same person for however long. It's nobody's business what you're doing. If you feel good and you're living your life, right? You're happy, you're moving along. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. You do what feels good for you. Salty, thank you very much. Kim, advice on tolerating a crap job while manifesting a new one. I can't stand what I do now compared to my old spot. I got demoted. Love you. I love you too. But we're reframing. We have not been demoted. I don't care if maybe you had like literal paperwork put in front of you that said you were demoted. You were not demoted. This happened for a reason because something more amazing is about to happen for you. The actual job or career that you've always really wanted is what's happening for you. And this was the next step to get you there, even though it might not make logical sense how a demotion is something to be celebrated. You know as well as I do, Salty, you are not brand new to conscious manifestation, that you have been deciding to be a particular version of yourself. I know you have. I know you have. And I know that you have other career dreams that aren't where you, let's say, where you were working. You know, whatever you got demoted from, I know that was not your dream career. That was not where you wanted to spend the rest of your damn life. So you were focusing on being a particular version of yourself. I'm not going to put it on blast what you were choosing for yourself, but I know you were. This is the path to it. And this is something I think everybody needs to remember, that we as humans, when we have an idea or a desire for something, without meaning to, we immediately start thinking of ways of what is the direct pathway to that career, to that love relationship, to that bank account size, whatever it is we're manifesting. When the damn truth is that specific pathway that we think is going to take us, blah, 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 it probably won't happen in the series of events and experiences or circumstances that we have pre-planned for ourselves. It probably won't. But I mean that in a good way. I don't mean it in a scary way. So using her example here, so she experienced a demotion. So this was not her dream career. This is not where she wanted to stay the rest of her damn life. In fact, I remember having a conversation with Salty, telling me of the things that she would like to do, or she has interest in, and would, much rather be doing something else to where she was. Well, sounds to me like this is pushing you, in a sense. It's pushing you. It's movement for you. We're so conditioned, like we were talking with Sarah earlier, that, when we think something bad happened, so to the 3D rest of the asleep people in the world, they hear demotion, they think negative. That must mean something bad. That can look like, I don't know, maybe a loss in a paycheck or the amount of your paycheck. Don't get me wrong, I'm aware that we're not looking to make less money. I know that. But I know you've been deciding to be a version of yourself. So if you were making that decision and this experience happened, it happened for a reason. It happened because it's leading you to where you want to go. Life might not always look like it's making sense. Your path in of itself might not be a perfect horizontal straight line. It might not be linear. But you can be sure that if you've been choosing an identity, showing up as that identity, or knowing yourself to be the particular identity, knowing you are the I am, then every single thing you're experiencing is a part of the most effortless, the quickest way to bring you what you want. And we can go back and forth with all the logical reasons why that doesn't seem to be real. It doesn't seem to be true. It doesn't make sense. This pathway over here really is the easier way. How the hell can anybody else say that? How can they? What is their view on reality? How is it any different than any one of ours? I'm saying they don't have that big, bird's eye view of reality. So no one can sit here and say that this is bad news, that this is going to ruin her life. She's going to be miserable in this spot she's in right now. No, it's taking her exactly where she wants to go. It finally clicked for me when it means to truly know who I am, and I feel so good compared to yesterday. I'm so happy. Ooh, J. Cole, I like your response, my friend. First of all, yep, Kim's right. I know I am. Thank you very much. It has to be serving us somehow because it's all God, which means it's all good. Mic drop. Period. Okay. I see two, what the hell are they called? Super chats. And I am not going to lie, they are in a language that I am unaware of. So I have no idea how to pronounce the username. On my end, it looks like it's in hieroglyphics. Okay. So thank you for the super chat. if you would like to try to, give me a message in the chat. If you want, me to answer something, please feel free to do. I'm going to give these a heart. And I am sorry that I cannot pronounce them. Listen, I took French in high school and I barely remember any of that. So it's English and some French. And quite frankly, there's a part of me that thinks that I probably should have took some Spanish. But I didn't. I took French. And I've never been to France or anywhere in Canada that speaks French. But it is a beautiful language. I took it because my aunt was a teacher. At one time, nobody cares about this. Why am I telling you this? Okay, am I crazy? In the chat, are some of the usernames and their messages flipped? Like, because some of the usernames that I'm seeing look like actual statements. Okay. Because I feel bad. Some of you are leaving messages, and I assume it's your username. The chat is fucked. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand the different languages. Oh. Is the person who sent the super chats, is that a Daniel? For the ones in Hebrew, I think that language reads from right to left. I did not know that. Listen, language is not my forte. I did not know that. But it looks like a different username picture. It's Hebrew. Okay, in Hebrew. How do I know when am I the right version of myself? And if I'm thinking about my SP, means that he is thinking about me. So for that, when you're thinking about your SP, is he thinking about you? Yes. Yes. And that is because of we are all connected in consciousness. Okay? Not to mention the countless, first of all, my own personal experiences and the countless evidence of other people's experiences that you can read, I'm sure on anybody's channel in the comment section somewhere. There's lots of videos on it of people experiencing, the number one, instant reflection where someone comes right back at you with what you were just thinking. And I'm saying, granted, I know you're thinking, well, no. When I think about my SP, is he's thinking about me? Well, yes, because of consciousness. And yes, because you are the I am and you are deciding from moment to moment to moment what's happening for you. So yes, but put a comma there and add on all the other validation, all the other experiences, my own personal experiences of having SP say word for word things that I had just been thinking, okay? And I know I'm not the only one who's had those experiences, and I've had them countless times. So I feel very comfortable saying yes to that for all those different reasons, okay? But how to know when you are the right version of yourself? Okay, what I'm about to say is kind of like why I think conscious manifestation can feel like a riddle. Like, I don't know, like one of those old like children's books where there's a hidden message behind the story type of thing, but it's really not because it's so in our face. You know when you are the right version. And mind you, to anybody else who's listening, if you are brand new, when you hear me say the right version of you, listen, all versions of you are right. But we're talking about the version of you that has your manifestation. That's what we're really talking about right here, okay? But that's not to say another version of you is bad. It's not what we mean. But how to know when you are? You are deciding that you are. So you being aware that you are that version of yourself is the instantaneous, instant, right there in that absolute millisecond, you are that self. So let's say right now you decide to be, I'm going to make something up. So the version of yourself that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Let's say you just consciously claimed that for yourself. And let's say a few seconds go by and you say, yeah, but I don't have what I want yet. It's not here yet. I don't have it yet. I haven't even talked to my SP. I have no idea what's going on with SP. That's who I am. Just like that, boom, to that version of yourself, back and forth. And we're doing that all the time, all day long, moving in and out of, we could say, different versions of ourselves, different states of consciousness all day long. I think of the game show, The Wheel of Fortune, and think of that spinning wheel, all the little price and prizes that you can land on that spinning wheel are all the different versions of you. You're spinning through them all the time. So who you are consciously aware of being, who you are identifying as in that moment. You are who you say you are. That's how you know. And that's what I mean, how it can sound like a riddle or like a children's trickery book. But it's really not. It's that simple. Doesn't always feel that simple, but conscious manifestation is that simple. You are who you say you are. So when you're questioning, well, how do I know I am that version of myself? How do I know I am right now? Because you are the I am. So in other words, I am that I am. You are the I am first. From there, you're selecting versions. So you know it because you claim it. When you decide you're not, you're not. That simple. And it's that quick. Where people, I think, mess this up, and it's where I messed it up. It's where I also made mistakes. And I still make mistakes. I'm human. Is by looking out at outer conditions, looking out at reality, and letting reality decide for you who you are. So this is why I try to get the message across of don't wait for evidence. Don't wait for validation to decide you are who you say you are. You decide it now, then reality reflects. Right? We choose now. We claim now. Then we see. But again, this is where people stumble. Okay, I've chosen to be this version of myself. I am identifying as the person I want to be. Let's say, we'll use a different example other than a specific person. Let's say you're someone who, I don't know, you want to be a movie star. You want to be a celebrity. So whether that's being in, a movie star, some kind of rock group, I don't know. Let's say that's who you want to be. So your job, your only requirement to consciously manifest is to decide to consciously be aware of being that person. So we could say for sarcasm, I want to be just like, who's a famous actor or actress that we like other than, like I would normally use Jason Momoa because he's sexy as hell, but there's other sexy as hells. So we can pick somebody else. Anybody that you like, okay? I want to be just like that person. Okay, start identifying as that person. Then we look at reality and life looks absolutely the same. Like nothing's changed. People let what they believe the senses are telling them, they let that make the decision. So you're manifesting being a famous actor or actress, but you still, I don't know, what's a job? Like, all right, you're still a school bus driver. Not that there's anything wrong with being a bus driver, but you're still a school bus driver, which looks nothing like being in a movie, being a famous actor or actress. You still decide anyway that you are that actor or actress, right? Winning all the Oscars version of you. You still choose it anyway. You don't let what the world of Caesar is showing you decide for you. Decide anyway. But when it appears like reality just doesn't seem to be moving fast enough, right? Oh my God, I've been deciding to be this world famous actor for 6 months, and I'm still driving the school bus. Nothing is changing. No, that's a conscious decision. That's who you're deciding to be. We're letting the conditions, we're letting reality decide for us. No. You decide it anyway. And you start viewing reality. At least let me say this. This is what helped me. I started viewing reality from the viewpoint of every single thing I'm doing. So let's say you're a school bus driver. Going to work, getting on that school bus, picking up the school kids, bringing them to school, somehow, some way is in direct connection to you being the famous actor or actress. Somehow, some way, without trying to logically, literally figure out what that connection is. Who knows, the connection could be suddenly a famous actor or actress moves into, I don't know, a house on the route that you drive school bus, and you pick up the kids, you get chit-chatting with, the parent, and they just love your personality, and they recommend you go do this and that, and they connect you, and all of a sudden, boom, you're heading out to Hollywood. Do you see what I'm saying? We don't know. That's why we don't want to judge reality and claim that it's not what what we want it to be, simply because of what's right in front of us. Everything's already here. Our actual eyeballs, our actual meat, brain, like the meat literally, does not see everything that's actually already here in front of us. We only see a fraction of what's here. And I'm talking about in the physical. We only see a fraction of it. Our mind is sorting out and sifting out stuff all over. So why then would we torture ourselves and say, nothing's changing, nothing's working, life isn't any different, it's the same old stuff. It's been such and such long. Anybody manifesting a specific person, we start thinking about specific person. We start getting resentful. We start getting angry. We start worrying that they're moving on to somebody else because we don't see something right in our face. That's just our own torturing ourselves. When all the while you've held the key, the whole time you've held the key, and the key is knowing yourself as the I am and choosing identity. Wow, I went off on a rant there, so I hope I answered your question. I feel like I'm just lying to myself. Then you need to take a look at that. You need to be honest with yourself. Why do you feel like you're just lying to yourself? What is your true viewpoint of reality? What do you really think is like, the nuts and bolts of how all of this works? I've heard people say, well, it feels like I'm gaslighting myself. Okay. That's something you have to work out within yourself. I think it's gaslighting to do that, to do the other way around. To let what I see in front of me decide for me who I am. I think that's gaslighting myself. You're the I am. Maybe that feels too much of a stretch to accept. Okay, well, you are consciousness. I can use different wording. You are consciousness. You're more than just this meat suit. So why would I keep dumbing myself down to what's literally right in front of me and only claiming that for myself, identifying with just that? That's gaslighting. Because we're so much more than this, so much more. What? What are you talking about, Paige? She said we can't change our programming. Who said, wait, what? Castle is worried we can't change our programming. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I've been programmed to flow with the 3D. It's dumb, but I can't help it. I've been programmed to flow with the 3D. What do you mean by that? Because quite frankly, life would be easier if we would just flow with the 3D. But what's your definition of flow? Because my definition of flow with the 3D might be different. The more we flow and let things just move and groove, see, that's not the same thing as accepting defeat, accepting less than what we want, accepting an identity that we no longer want to be. That's not the same thing. No, there's just something wrong with the chat in general. And as far as is there a moderator on, yes, there are. You're one of them. But yeah, the chat community moderation, yes, is on. There's something wrong with, I think, YouTube. Well, no, there's multiple ones. There's more than just, there's a bunch of you here. So don't feel the pressure to do it all by yourself. I like that idea, Ziomera. Yes. Yeah, Rachel, I don't think, Rachel, you weren't timed out. You weren't timed out. It sends me a notification on my screen. I think it sends it to all the moderators, not sure though, but it sends me a notification anytime anybody's timed out. So I didn't see you getting timed out. You know, I saw that you timed someone out. I saw that because it says who just timed out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. The chat has been wackadoodle since we got on here. I flow like I just accept the 3D as truth. I need to change it, but I don't know how. You do know how. You do know how. The same way that you just accept the 3D as truth is kind of the same way that you are going to decide that you don't have to decide that the 3D isn't truth. You can just decide that it's not all the truth. It's not all the truth. And we actually have minimal true sight of 3D, right? We're seeing just a tiny little portion. So it's not, think of it as when, I don't know, someone's gossiping about somebody else, right? So-and-so did this today, blah, 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 blah. And you're only hearing that one side of the story, but yet, there's the other person's side of the story, right? So 3D is just like getting one side, when there's a whole other side to that story. Same idea. So, does that make sense? Yes, Sunday blues. Yes, I will. I have to go now anyway. I warned you it was going to be a short one. Thank you very much to all of you who has joined me today. I went live a lot longer than I thought I was going to, right? So I'm not going to feel bad. Yes. Yes, Paige, you can only perceive in reality what you believe, so believe what you want and watch your perception change. Yes. Yes. And to that person who thinks they're programmed, and listen, every state of consciousness has its own programming. Think of it that way. And you are infinite. There are infinite versions of you. That's a lot of different programs. So you are not stuck to any one running program. Yes, there are others who don't agree with that. So what's going to be their experience? They're going to sit stuck in their lame-ass programming. They're going to sit there. And they're going to keep cycling through over and over and over. But you're not stuck. Infinite versions of you. Infinite. We're never stuck. And we're choosing from moment to moment who we really are. Whether you feel like you are or not, you are. So if you started today, listen, I wouldn't stop doing your flowing with 3D though. I think the more we flow, the less we try to fight off every single thing that's in front of us, the easier the journey gets. Just saying. But anyway, all right. It is lame. It is lame-ass programming. Isn't it? It's boring. It's boring. All right, anyway. I love you all. To my channel members, exclusive lives, hot seaters, VIP advanced manifestors, I shall see you all this evening, hopefully, at 8 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow.